Well, hello there. You are tuning in to the Ask Schellie show. I am your emotional intelligence expert. So proud to be here before you all. Again, you are tuning into the Ask Schellie show where we highlight a question from one of our faithful community members, and we as a community provide feedback in hopes that the person who wrote in and anyone who is watching can add tools to their wellness toolbox. Our goal is to enhance the emotional intelligence of those who tune in weekly, those who catch the replay, those who write in. That is what we do. I'm a licensed psychotherapist here in the beautiful state of Florida, proud Haitian American woman. I have the privilege of working with individuals and with adults, individual adults, working with married couples and helping them to maximize their emotional intelligence that will then prayerfully enhance their intimacy. So, as a relationship expert, I have the opportunity of working again with married couples and exclusive dating partnerships. These are individuals who have a date on the calendar for their marriage and want to make sure that they are in full preparation for doing what needs to be done to nurture a healthy marriage. And so, I again have this priceless opportunity to share questions here on this platform with each and every one of you in hopes that individuals will just learn to live in their smile. Individuals will be able to have the tools necessary to attract the outcomes that they deserve to their lives. You play a very important part of this process because your feedback is super valuable. I need you to let me know who you are and where you are tuning in from. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment section about your views. You may have experience on the topic. You may be going through it right now. You may be on the other side of your healing process. Whatever it is, your feedback is very, very valuable. So make sure that you engage. Let us know who you are, where you are tuning in from. Don't forget to leave your feedback in the comment section. Today, we are talking about a woman who wrote in who is beside herself about the fact that her husband gives her daughter so much affection and she feels rejected. She doesn't use those words, but I'll be going over her question in just a few moments. Again, those of you who are tuning in, be sure to let me know who you are and where you are tuning in from. Again, I'm Schellie Fanfan. I am your emotional intelligence expert. I was created by God and sent to this earth to bring people to that crossroad where psychological principles and kingdom protocols meet so we can truly experience total life prosperity, so we can truly experience abundance, we can truly experience the joy of healthy marriages, that we can truly ignite those unique skills and abilities that each of us house. We can walk in purpose when our emotional intelligence is high enough to think in a way and behave in a way that attracts outcomes that we deserve, favorable life outcomes. That is what I do on a daily basis, working with individuals and working with couples and even corporations and helping them to understand the psychology behind the goals that they want to achieve. So, you are now a part of my consultation team. You get to provide your feedback on this topic. Again, this woman is saying, I want love too. Hello, can I get some of that affection? That's her question to her husband. So, again, make sure that you engage. I'm going to go ahead and pull the question up here for your hearing. Do not forget to let us know. Let me know who you are and where you are tuning in from. Now, the question reads, Dear Ask Schellie, how can I get my husband to give me the same affection he gives our daughters? I often feel like I do not even exist. I gave him those babies and I don't matter. See, when I pause in questions, then usually that gives you kind of like an indicator of where I'm going to go with my response. So let me go back. So it says, Dear Ask Schellie, how can I get my husband to give me the same affection he gives our daughters? I often feel like I do not even exist. I gave him those babies and I don't matter. I see him at his happiest points when he interacts with them. We have two daughters. One is 10 and the other is 7. They have the best relationship ever, and I would not trade it for the world. It is just that lately I have been feeling lonely and unappreciated. An example of this is they all went out for their daddy daughter's Saturday and came back after outlet shopping for the fall and winter clothes. They walked in happy, going through their clothes, having a good time as if I did not even exist. So I went to the kitchen and broke a plate on the floor. Everybody stopped. And I said, "Oh, you see me now?" I'm just acting it out. Since then, things have been pretty odd in the home. Everyone is walking on eggshells. I regret doing that, but sometimes I do not. I want that affection from my husband. I have not had it in years. We barely talk. I feel disconnected. I would love to see him smile and laugh the way he does with me, with them, with me. Let me repeat that. I feel disconnected. I would love to see him smile and laugh the way he does with them, with me. I understand this is probably very normal. I would love some tips. So, to my consultation team, those who are watching on Facebook and those who are watching on YouTube, please go into the comment section and let me know what it is you are thinking. We want to give this woman some feedback. We want her to leave empowered so she knows what steps that she can take in order to change this undesired outcome in her life. We all have the capacity to influence outcomes in the earth. And this show endeavors to provide the tools for that. So I'm going to reread the question and I'm going to provide some feedback. Now, let me just remind those of you who may be new to tuning into the Ask Schellie show, I am offering feedback. It is for informational and entertainment purposes only. For those of you who feel that you need additional support, understand that this is not therapy. Therapy is a process that you consent to. You engage in a journey with a licensed psychotherapist that can assist you with achieving your treatment goals, your life goals, your career goals, your thought goals, your behavioral goals, your relationship goals, your couples goals, your financial goals, whatever that is. It's removing those psychological barriers, those thought barriers, those behavioral patterns that are barriers. That is what therapy does. It gives you freedom. It gives you your superpower, because wellness is a superpower. How many of you are ready to put on your capes? And if you are, contact a therapist near you. You can always connect with us on www.askschellie.com. We will assist you with connecting with the therapist. You can also go to www.psychologytoday.com. You are able to put in your zip code and all of the issues that you want to address in therapy, and you will get a list of vetted professionals in your area ready to see you. All right. But for the purpose of this show, especially because we don't have all of the information, we don't know what attempt she has made. We don't know what conversation she has had with her husband. We don't know what her mental state is. We don't know what the mental state is of her husband. And so we can only provide general feedback, and you are part of my consultation team. So make sure you go into the comment section. Let me know what you are thinking. So the question is, Dear Ask Schellie, how can I get my husband to give me the same affection he gives our daughters? I often feel like I do not exist. I gave him those babies and I don't matter. I see him at his happiest points when he interacts with them. We have two daughters. One is 10 and the other is 7. They have the best relationship ever, and I would not trade it for the world. It is just that lately I have been feeling lonely and unappreciated. An example is they all went out for their daddy-daughter Saturday and came back after outlet shopping for fall and winter clothes. They walked in happy, going through their clothes, having a good time, as if I did not even exist. So I went to the kitchen and broke a plate on the floor. Everybody stopped and I said, "Oh, you see me now." Since then, things have been pretty odd in the home. Everyone is walking on eggshells. I regret doing that, but sometimes I do not. I want that affection from my husband. I have not had it in years. We barely talk. I feel disconnected. I would love to see him smile and laugh the way he does with them with me. I understand this is probably very normal. I would love some tips. First and foremost, here's my feedback. First and foremost, you are right. A man's affection toward his daughters is normal. In my own personal experiences, I have seen it firsthand. However, normal does not mean acceptable. Let me say that again. Announcement to all those within the sound of my voice. Normal does not have to be acceptable. Sometimes when things are normal, we talk ourselves into believing that because it's normal, because it's someone's average experience, it should be something that you just accept. And I reject that. It's like arguments. Arguments, having frequent arguments with someone you love, or someone that you've been married to for X amount of years, over a decade, 20 years, whatever it is normal, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to adopt that or accept that as your norm. Right? Like breaking a diet. Well, breaking a diet, that's normal. People break diets all the time. You can make that a non-negotiable for your life. Normal doesn't have to be your experience. And that's healthy. That's emotionally intelligent when you start building fences for that, no matter if that's normal for you, acceptable for the family across the street. But this here house, that is not going to be acceptable, and that is okay. So first and foremost, queen, just because it's normal doesn't mean that it has to be acceptable. Write that down. Now, the breaking of that plate, ladies and gentlemen, she went into that kitchen and was like, bam! Okay? So the breaking of that plate symbolizes so much. I'm trying to go back and forth between screens to receive and highlight your questions. I'm having some trouble navigating through the screens, but I'm trying my best to look at all the different places at one time. Got YouTube up and Facebook up. Thank you so much again for tuning in to the Ask Schellie Show. So now the breaking of the plate, it symbolizes so much. It symbolizes so much. So let's just park here for a second. I ask you to convert your actions into words, right? So I want you to think about that moment. And I don't know when this question came in. I want to say maybe the end of October. I'm not sure. I just want you to think back on that time when you stood in that kitchen, you took that plate and you just released it. So I asked you to convert your actions into words. And what did you say that you needed and wanted through that action? I want you to really think about that. What did you say you needed and wanted through that action? And listen, it may be more than one statement, and that is okay, right? But I want you to write down each statement. I want you to write down each statement. Again, you're turning those actions into words. I need attention. I need affection. Whatever that is, just write down a list. Like, I refuse to be neglected. I want you to take your words, assign words to that action, write them down in statements. And then I invite you to focus on the power that you have to manifest what you want on that list. Okay? So everything that you write, right? Whether it be I I deserve to be appreciated. I deserve to be adored. I deserve to be celebrated. Whatever that is, I want you to write down the power that you have to manifest that, right? Because you may say, well, in this particular statement, I really don't have any power in this. This has to be him, which really isn't true. But I want you to write down the power that you have to cause that thing to manifest. And it's important that in doing so, that you consult with some of your healthy friends that may be able to tell you, you know what, you're saying you have zero power here, but you absolutely do. You can share what it is you want. You can communicate what it is you want. You can have you can be clear about what it is you expect and hold them accountable to that. You can dive into your own mental wellness and really take a look at what you are neglecting for yourself, right? Remember, we talked about needs that we have that only we can meet, right? Let me go back. There are needs that we have that only God can meet. There are also needs that we have that only we can meet. There are needs that Schellie has that only Schellie can meet. So when we start to outsource that responsibility to other people, we just create a hole for ourselves, right? A hole with buckets, trying to put money in that hole, in that bucket with holes, trying to fill that bucket up with some water. And so this gives you an opportunity to really take a look at the power that you have to manifest those statements. Now, I do not know you, but I am pretty sure you deserve the things that you write on that list. And once you can wrap your mind around that you deserve the things that you desire, then you can manifest them. Let me say that again. When you can finally wrap your mind around this fact that you deserve the things that you desire, you can then manifest them. You will no longer settle for less. You have settled for less for so long. You have accepted a plate where nothing on it is what you desire to eat. Think about that from the perspective of being in a restaurant. Most of the time something comes in and we cut into the steak and it looks a little too red, too bloody, or it looks well done when we ask for medium rare. What do we say? Waiter, this is not what I asked for. Or you can say, this is a little burnt, this is a little salty. Please take it back. I'm not interested in eating that. You can choose to have them recook it or you can order something else. We exercise our power as paying customers in the restaurant because we understand that I am not paying for something that I do not want to consume. And so I invite you to take that authority in your life. For so long, you've been eating off of a plate where nothing on it is anything that you desire to eat. So you have settled for less for so long, you are now aggressing for attention because that throwing of the plate down on the floor, and I'm praying that it was done. Well, I don't know if breaking stuff is ever safe, right? Because that means that we are reacting emotionally. And when we are in reaction mode and not in responsive mode, that usually is not safe. It's not safe because your emotions are in the driving seat and you can cause irreparable damage with the things that you allow to come out your mouth when you are reactive. This is why emotional intelligence is so important, because you understand how to decompress, how to take your anger from a 10 to a 7, how to take your anxiety from a 7 to a 3, how to be able to work against those reactions and turn them into responses. However, all in all, I say this again. Put some words and assign some words to that action when you took that plate and broke it, specifically as it relates to what it is that you need and you want. Remember that the things that you desire are things that you deserve. Make sure that you go back to each and every statement and analyze the power that you have to manifest them, remembering what you desire, you deserve. We often long for things that we have not made a requirement. I'm saying we as women. And I'm pretty sure this can apply to men as well. And we often, again, long for things that we have not made a requirement. I just want that to sit and simmer for a little bit, right? We get to a point in our lives where we say, no longer am I accepting this. But it's important to recognize the role that you play in not exposing yourself to the things that you desire. They were not required, right? They were not required. And I often do this in sessions. Like, what is required? Like, when they come in and say, I have these unmet expectations, my next question, usually 99.9% of the time, is, did you make those expectations required? And that's not, and I'm not saying that because you didn't make them required, you should accept it, but it's important to take personal responsibility as well, right? So starting therapy gives you the opportunity to say, my expectations were not healthy. Starting therapy gives you the opportunity to say and recognize my negotiables and my non-negotiables may not have come from a healthy place, and that's okay, right? Starting therapy causes you to declare that our normal flow as husband and wife may have injured our intimacy. Therapy gives you an opportunity to say that now we are in agreement for a healthy change. Therapy will give you an opportunity to say, now we are starting a new normal. We are holding ourselves accountable. We're going to do things different. We're going to get uncomfortable. We're going to talk about these topics that we never really talked about. We're going to talk about those unmet expectations. We're going to get to the root of why things changed. So therapy can help you shift attention and motivation for one another. Therapy will provide the safe, guided, and mediated space for the both of you to have courageous and healing communication. And it sounds like somewhere along the line, the two of you have lost your intimacy. That's your attachment, your bondedness to one another. And you have been longing for it, but I am not convinced that you pursued it in a healthy way. So therapy gives you that opportunity, whether it's intimacy coaching. Actually, I would recommend seeing a licensed marriage and family therapist that can really assist and go deep into your intimacy issues and help you guys build that back up. And it also takes a new culture where your calendar and your bank statements reflect that you prioritize your marriage. That's very important. And so my next recommendation for you is to consider marriage therapy. I want to caution you on two things. One, you made a statement that I gave him those kids, right? Do you guys remember that? She says, I gave him those kids. Now, words are powerful. And they often cause our emotions to react as if what we are saying is completely true. So let me go back and ask you this. Did you give him those children? Now, I get it. You carried the girls, you cared for the girls, you nurtured the girls, but did you give him those girls? I see it as those girls were given to the both of you. So I encourage you to do a deep dive for yourself on that one and tell me what it is you find. Really go deep into that. Because, see, words sometimes will create core beliefs that are not necessarily true, right? And that's important. I'm going to give you an example. I had someone say the other day that people pleasing resulted in her career success. That people pleasing resulted in her career success. And I challenged this person to really think about those words and to think about the validity of those words, because part of emotional intelligence is understanding the power of word accuracy. Like, even when people ask us how we are doing and we don't necessarily say how it is we are really doing, those word inaccuracies are unhealthy. When we say that we're okay when we're not okay, when we say things are going great when they're not going great, it causes more distress because there's no alignment with what you're saying and what your real experiences are. And so for me as a therapist, I'm very big on word accuracy. Stop calling it procrastination. It's self-sabotage. Stop calling it laziness. It is depression. Stop calling it life served you lemons. You have been a victim of trauma, a victor of trauma. You have experienced trauma. I make sure that my clients use words that are accurate because healing of mind, body, and soul happens in the spirit of truth. And so even the words that we speak must be true. Got it? Word accuracy. And so you may feel like you gave him those kids, but these are children that you guys created together. And they were a gift from God to the both of you. And so, again, I challenge you to do a deep dive into the words that you use throughout this entire question that you submitted and really challenge those word inaccuracies. Second, you are stating that you want, I don't know if anybody caught this because I can't go back to the screen. I'll go back in just a second. But you stated in your question that you want the same affection he has for your daughters. Right? And so, again, I'm extending another invitation. I would invite you to consider envisioning a unique affection, right? A unique affection that your husband has just for you, and a unique affection that you have for your husband. His affection toward his girls is special and it's unique. I've seen it. I have seen it. I have been there washing dishes, wanting to throw the pressure cooker across the room because it's like, you smiling, laughing, and all that other stuff. Like, can I get some of that? I get it. I get it. I don't like to minimize people's experiences by saying I understand, but I'm definitely in tune with you. But I want you to, again, just consider a unique affection that's just for you from your loving husband, and then vice versa. Now let's go back. So his affection that he has toward his girls, and it's beautiful. And you even said it in your question, like you wouldn't trade it for the world. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It really is. And it's not to say that a man's affection towards his sons or any, less, affection or less beautiful, or a woman's with her sons, but there are those unique, dynamics in those father-daughter relationships. There are some unique dynamics in those mother-son relationships. I get it. And it's beautiful. Let them have it. Queen, let them have it. I want you to listen to me. The potential for intimacy and attachment, maximize intimacy and attachment and bondedness can be your portion as a result of therapy, right? And so therapy can help you achieve that for yourself, right? Something, an affection, an interaction, a dynamic that is unique and it's abundant and it is fulfilling. So I'm concerned that you may be looking to duplicate the affection that he has for your girls. Abandon that expectation, as it has the potential to harm you and possibly cause you to be discouraged. Let them have it and work on your inner self. Work on your marriage, work on your communication, work on your intimacy that happens on so many different levels. It's not just sex, but it has so much to do with everything before sex, right? And so you guys got to go back and you may need to start dating again and start writing each other poems and start writing letters to one another, vacationing more, using your support system so that you guys have more time alone. I can go on and on and on. Therapy will help you to discover those healthy patterns and behaviors that will heal the intimacy. But I want to warn you, when you're trying to duplicate this affection for yourself, I'm not convinced that that's coming from a healthy space. So listen to me, Queen. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of attention. You are worthy of affection. You have the capacity to, I'm going to say the F word right now. Please excuse me, everybody. This is a non-cursing show. I try my best to make that clear to my guests. Sometimes two or three will come slipping out of my guests, right? But for the most part, there's no cursing on the show. So please excuse me. I'm about to say the F word. You have the capacity to fulfill yourself. The F word. Fill. Fulfill. Think about this. Fill the room. I want everybody, you are challenged to assess the space between where you are and where you want to be. Because the space between where you are and where you want to be, that space you have the capacity to fill. Fill the room. Your fulfillment can be your portion. Fulfillment can be your portion. Fill the room. Everybody within the sound of my voice, you have the capacity to fill the room. That space between where you are and where you want to be. You have to acknowledge that space. You have to be very, very aware of that space, and not only aware, but you have to be responsive to the thing that you are aware of, or those things that you are aware of. We don't have to just sit in spaces and places where we are not celebrated, where we are not recognized, where we are not feeling the favorable life outcomes that we deserve. Like, we don't have to sit in that. When it comes to discomfort, and I say this often, we accept discomfort in the wrong spaces and places. Like, we'll accept discomfort when it comes to things that we know we deserve in relationships. Like, you'll accept that discomfort, but you won't accept the discomfort that comes with change. You won't accept the discomfort that comes with taking a risk that you need to elevate your life, but you'll accept the discomfort in being disrespected by someone that you love. We invite discomfort in wrong spaces and places. So I'm encouraging you, Queen, do something about it. You have the capacity to change it. That change starts with you, but you don't have to accept it as a norm. Oh, it's normal, husbands do that all the time. They give their daughters all the attention, and no, you don't have to accept that. Normal doesn't mean that you have to accept it. So, Queen, you are encouraged to fill the room. Fill the room, that space between where you are and where you want to be. You can do it. Each and every person within the sound of my voice know this. Know this, especially as we celebrate Thanksgiving and these upcoming holidays, that you have the capacity to influence outcomes in the earth. You have the capacity to influence outcomes in your relationship. You have the capacity to influence outcomes and healthy changes and positive changes in your finances, in your friendships, in your romantic relationships, in your career, in your spirituality. We have so much more power than many of us think. And so this is a time where you should truly tap into that power, release that thing, and watch it cause you to experience higher levels of abundance. But it starts with you rejecting this idea that you have to accept things that are far below your value. You don't. You absolutely do not. Now, when you are not able to be aware of that yourself, then therapy helps you with that. Therapy helps you to see yourself through the lenses of how God sees you. And we all have the right to remove those blinders. We all have the right to see ourselves as the kings and queens that we are. It's a right. Your wellness is a right. Your peace is a right. Your power is a right. Your abundance, your maturation, your leveling up, your elevation, that is your right. So emotional intelligence gives you access to the right that you have to be the greatest version of yourself. That's your right. Therapy is you exercising your right to be well. Boundaries, that's your right. Clarity is your right. Getting uninterrupted rest at night, that's your right. Wellness is your right. Health is your right. Healthy weight loss, that's your right. Your self-discipline over the things that you eat, that's your right. It's your right to be free from addiction. That's your right. So take everything that you want. Write that list down before Thanksgiving. Everything you want, write it down on a list and go back and cross out want and put deserve on every single statement because you deserve it. We need to go into 2022 full throttle. We should be going into 2022 full throttle. Get it together, Queen. Get it together, King. Let's no longer accept less than our value. What are you making required in your relationship? What are you making required in your marriage? And what are those healthy steps you are taking to enforce those requirements? Notice I said healthy. What are those healthy steps that you are taking, right, to enforce those requirements? Because letting air out of his tire or her tires is not a healthy way to get or enforce what you are saying is required. There's a healthy way to honor your non-negotiables. There's a healthy way to honor your non-negotiables. There's a healthy way to honor what you're saying. This is required, right? There are certain things that are required when you buy things of value. There's certain materials that you can't just wash in the washing machine. What's required? Tell me what's required in the comment section, right? Dry cleaning. Hello. Yes. When you buy a certain car, you may not be able to put certain types of gas in it anymore. It may require something premium. I know how many premium women and men are listening in right now and understand that you need premium care, right? This is a season where your requirement should be premium care, platinum care, right? And only you can enforce that. Only you can enforce that. So you are encouraged to give yourself access to that platinum premium care. Yes? Amen? Are we going to get it? It starts with you. Because if you're not treating yourself with platinum premium care, no one else will. Most of the time when you meet a partner, they're going to meet you right where you are or go under. It all depends on how you conduct yourself and how healthy you are. Okay? So we're talking about platinum premium care. For those of you who are just tuning in, we just provided feedback to a woman who says that her husband gives all of his affection to their daughters, and she wanted tips on how to reverse that. And so you got to catch the replay as I provided my feedback to this queen, really stressing the importance of seeking therapy to address those intimacy issues in our marriages. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. Hello, Octavia. She says, yes, yes, yes. And we have Jackie that is tuning in, and she says, thank you, Queen, for tuning in. We are live every week. Make sure that you tune into the Ask Schellie show. You can write in at info@AskSchellie, or you can visit with me at www.askschellie.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Manny Noel, she says, amen. And I say amen too. We are in agreement that this is just a season where it's all about premium platinum care. That is it. Premium platinum care. And listen, I am challenging myself. I am not accepting any less. I'm not accepting any less than platinum premium care, right? You can reverse that, say premium platinum care. However you say it, make sure you get it and make sure that you are making decisions that attract that. So again, my name is Schellie Fanfan. I am your emotional intelligence expert. You can connect with me on info@askschellie.com. And this is where you can submit your most challenging questions. Info@askschellie.com. My team will see to it that we respect your confidentiality and we highlight your question right here on a future Ask Schellie show. You can also visit with me at www.askschellie.com. And on that site, you can purchase a book that I co-collaborated on, Struggling to Keep the Vows. You can book a consultation on that site, www.askschellie.com. You can book me for your next speaking engagement. I am a transformational speaker and I keynote all of the time. I have the opportunity to ignite listeners and cause them to transform by providing very practical tools that maximize psychological performance. You can book me at www.askschellie.com. Again, you can also submit those difficult, challenging questions right there on my website as well, and we will highlight it on a future Ask Schellie show. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can go to Ask Schellie. That's my channel. Subscribe, turn that notification on every time a new video is posted. You will be notified. And you can always connect with me for the series of inventories that we have just for you. So if you're in a relationship and you want to know where you stand, if you are in red zone, yellow zone, or green zone with your partner, we have surveys specifically for you that you can take that will give you an idea of where you and your loved one is functioning, right? Or where you guys are functioning in terms of the level of your intimacy and overall relationship health. And you can do that by, again, going to www.askschellie.com to request that survey. We'll be happy to partner with you in interpreting those results. And for those of you who heard something today that made you feel like, I may need some additional support. For individual and group support, you can email info@askschellie.com. If it's not someone that's connected to our firm, we will be happy to connect you with a therapist that we believe can assist you and partner with you in achieving your, what again, relationship goals, financial goals, career goals, psychological goals, spiritual goals. It all connects to your emotional wellness. It all connects to your emotional wellness. And you have the responsibility to govern your emotions. You have the responsibility to govern your emotions. You don't ever want your lack of wellness to be a glass ceiling for your success. You don't ever want your lack of emotional wellness to be a glass ceiling for your success. Move those barriers out of the way and do what you have to do to be the greatest version of yourself. Guess what? It starts with a choice. So make it. God bless you and happy, 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 blessed Thanksgiving. I want to say one thing. Let me say something here. Because I felt this very strongly before when we were talking about word accuracy. Don't curse this holiday season with what you're saying. Right? Like all the stuff in this world, things that are going right now. This is going to be a horrible holiday. Who wants to celebrate? We're still in a, watch your words. This is me just smacking them out the way. I'm smacking them out. Smack them with me, please. I'm smacking. Watch your words. Some of us are so used to having horrible seasons and horrible holiday seasons that you speak that horribleness into existence. Stop doing that. Even for those of you where the holiday season, it corresponds with anniversaries, with the loss of loved ones and other traumatic experiences. I get that. But it doesn't have to be another dark season for you. It doesn't have to be. So stop speaking that thing over your holiday season and cause it to be great. So I share and I send the very best wishes for happiness and fulfillment, belly aching laughter to you and yours. God bless you.